2 months ago, I finally stepped into Wuthering Wave after ignoring it for nearly a year, mostly because of my Genshin Impact obsession. I did try at launch, but only played the prologue, which honestly didn't hook me, so I never gave it a real chance. At the time, I'd basically finished everything in Genshin Impact while waiting for version 6.1 at the time. So I decided to jump back into Wuthering Wave with a fresh account. I returned to Solaris, and I can confidently say I didn't regret that decision. Hello everyone, it's me, Pentagon Valimar, your Dragon Cyborg Archivist and Keeper of Forgotten Knowledge. Today I want to share my thoughts, impression and overall experience after catching up with Wuthering Wave, the gacha action RPG developed by Kuro Games. Like most gacha game, you pull for character and weapon, using in-game currency or real money. Character and weapon are upgraded through resources, farming, domain, and regular monthly updates that bring you content, banner, and events. The game is available on mobile, PC, and PS5, I think, and it's run on Unreal Engine 5. While it shares similarity with Genshin Impact, Wuthering Wave clearly has its own identity. I recently finished Rinascita and the 3.0 Prelude in Onami, so I'm fully caught up. That's why I wanted to give my honest thought on the game's story, exploration, combat, character, music, cinematic, and overall world design. There may be light spoiler, but I'll avoid major one. With that said, let's dive in. I'll be honest, at first, Wuthering Wave didn't impress me much. I found it somewhat boring, and many of the early characters felt bland and visually similar. I was also confused by the world, and the main story it wasn't very well explained in my opinion. Things started to improve when we met Scar, and learned more about the Fraxidus, who serve as the game's recurring antagonistic faction, somewhat similar to the Fight Tree in Genshin Impact. Still, most of Jinju, especially its early main story section and character, didn't really click with me. I had mixed feelings, some interesting idea, but poor execution. Ironically, the companion quests were far more engaging than the main story at that point. My opinion began to change during Mount Firmament, and especially the Black Shore. Character design became more distinct, and the story were better integrated into the main narrative. The music also improved significantly, with the addition of vocal track that added emotional weight. That said, I didn't love how the Black Shore were introduced. One moment with investigating rooms in Jinju, with Yang Yang and a character we barely knew, and the next, we lose consciousness and wake up in the Black Shore. We suddenly teleported there by the shorekeeper without a proper goodbye to Jinju. I didn't even know she was able to teleport us there. Then we just call Yang Yang to say, oh, we're fine. And that's it. I really think this transition could have been handled more gracefully. Still, by the end of the Black Shore arc, I was fully invested. And then came Rinascita. Rinascita completely changed my perception of the game. Everything about Chapter 2 felt like a massive leap forward compared to Chapter 1. The storytelling, character writing, pacing, music, and world design were all significantly better. This was a moment Wuthering Wave went from meh to me to this is amazing. The progress the developer made is impossible to ignore. Rinascita is peak Wuthering Wave. And 3.0 would be even better. The story and tone, one of the game's biggest strengths. Now it's its main story, especially since character stories are fully integrated into it. This adds depth, stronger emotional beat, and more believable relationship. I personally love dark, dramatic narrative, and Wuthering Wave deliver. Some moments are genuinely heavy, especially Frolova backstory, which was particularly disturbing and well written. The world itself reflects the stone. Genshin may not be my favorite region, but its oppressive and melancholic atmosphere work well. Rinascita looked bright and cheerful at first, but it doesn't take long to realize something is deeply wrong beneath the surface. Then we have exploration. Exploration is another major highlight. Movement feels incredible free. You can run, climb, grapple, glide, and even fly. Utility tools make exploration smoother and more enjoyable, and flying gives you a breathtaking view of the world, especially in Rinascita at Samtemon. Rinascita also improved exploration design by moving away from pure chest hunting. Instead, you complete various challenges and minigames like flying race that are clearly marked on the map, saving a lot of time. Only resonance beacons aren't shown without the proper item, but they are easy enough to find. Then character in combat. Character design have improved drastically over time and are far more distinct compared to the early Genshin roster. Their story are also much stronger now that they are part of the main narrative. The ecosystem is a fantastic alternative to artifacts. You capture defeated enemy, use them to boost your character, and even activate their ability. The databank progression really feels like a Pokemon style Pokédex and it's genuinely fun. Combat is where Wuthering Waves truly shine. Parrying, dodging, character swapping, and special switch attack make fight feel dynamic and skill based. The animations are gorgeous. The combat is fluid, and it's noticeably more complex and challenging than Genshin Impact, at least in my opinion. Still, I'm not that great in this style of combat. And finally, we have the music and cinematic. Early Genshin music was fitting, but honestly a bit dull. It almost made me sleepy. However, once vocal track were introduced and Rinascita arrived, the soundtrack became outstanding. As for cinematics, since the Trinolian arc, Wuthering Wave has been delivering pure cinema. The cutscene near the end of version 2.8 were especially incredible, some of the best the game has produced so far. Most of the game's early flaws have been addressed by Rinascita, but a few issues for me remain. Some story side quest elements can still be confusing or poorly explained. Major regions should be accessible even if you haven't reached them in the story. For example, when I pulled Galbrina, I couldn't access Septimon yet. Zone tied to character and bosses should always be available, not just early access. Many female characters seem to fall for Ruver very quickly. while male characters don't get the same treatment. Relationship also develop unrealistically fast. We're often willing to sacrifice ourselves for people we just met. We feel lack of emotion at times. I rarely see genuine anger, grief, or extreme emotion. I also think 3 5-star character into one banner coming in 3.0, which is in total gonna be 6 in 1 month, is in my opinion too much. Now player will have to struggle even more to choose which character they want more. Also maybe add more 4-star because it's always mostly the same damn character in each banner. Already got most of C7 already. As a personal wish rather than critique, I'd love to see housing added in the games. It was extremely popular in Genshin. I also love rover outfit that change based on the specialization or region. To be honest, I didn't expect to love Wuthering Waves this much. I don't have any serious complaint left. The game is simply a fantastic experience and a refreshing change of pace from Genshin Impact. That said, I don't think Wuthering Waves is better than Genshin Impact. I had just as much fun with both. They each have their own strength, and Wuthering Waves clearly take more risk and innovate more, especially with version 3.0 on the horizon. Or I would say out now. I'll continue playing both games, and thankfully the update schedule don't usually overlap. With a massive 3.0 update, I'm genuinely excited to see what the future the Wuthering Waves hold. That's everything I wanted to share about my experience with Wuthering Waves. What about you? How was your experience with the game? Let me know in the comment. I love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more short live stream, let's play, and discussion video. And if you're a fan of Trail series, The Legend of Zelda and Genshin Impact, I also make lore video, trivia short, and theory content on Pandragon Lore Archive. Link are in the description. Thank you all for watching, and may the Sentinel be with you. Pandragon Valimar offline.
And start anew.